How are we doing, everyone? This is Share Your Story's second podcast, and we have Kieran. How are we doing, Kieran?
Yeah, I'm good, mate, pal. Yeah, spot on yourself.
Yeah, not too bad. How's your cup of tea?
Yeah, it's actually all right. It's warm. It needs to be warm. It's freezing today.
I know, it's cold today. So yeah, this is the second one. Kieran was actually one of the first people to ever message us and ask if they could come on the show, which is absolutely awesome. You were a little bit ill the other day, weren't you?
Yeah, a couple of last few weeks been a bit bad fettle and put a bit of a damper on life, but
You're still smiling.
well, but it's in the past now. It's back of it now. We're on the way up now.
Awesome,
so
mate. Awesome. So for the people who don't know, well, obviously you're a very well-known lad guy. For the people who don't know you, who are you?
yeah, Kieran Tomlinson, 25. I'm from Egremont, and that's it pretty much really. Like I'd like to think I'm just a normal lad from Egremont. I've always grew up in Egremont. I've always been around Egremont. Always that's been me just my full life. Never done anything too spectacular. Never done anything different. And yeah, just pretty much that.
Just a guy who wants to help.
Well, try my best to help people. And that's one thing I want to try and do now going forward. Is to try and help other people. Just sort of understanding that sometimes people do struggle, and I want to help people now, and I'm in a position in my life now where I feel like I'm ready to sort of commit to try and help other people.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And that's one thing that I'm sort of pushing and keen on doing myself, and really trying to sort of help other people.
That's awesome. Obviously, you're doing a lot of sport at the moment. What was your relationship like with sport when you were younger?
Yeah, when I was younger, I was really mad for football, really. Ever since I was 6 or 7 or something, probably even early before that, I always had a football at my feet. I always loved playing football. I used to think I was good, wasn't very good.
You were for you.
I was good enough for me. Yeah, but like I say, I've always played football. I started knocking around with a lot of people who are still knocking around with today, playing football as a child.
Awesome.
Obviously playing down. And like I say, it's always just been football. And then I think when I got to probably about 14 or 15, my sport sort of stopped. Sort of as it grew into adult football, I sort of just pulled myself away from it. I got a little bit less interested and I wasn't as bothered. And then I sort of really didn't do any sport or anything. I went and played rugby for a couple of years, tried to play rugby for a couple of years, but that was just sort of just to try and fit in with the other people and just more the social aspect of it, really.
Yeah,
just because
absolutely.
Some of my friends played and I thought, oh, I'll go and try and have a play. And yeah, it was never sort of a massive passion or anything, but just more of something just to sort of do and while in school. And I've always been quite active and outdoors and stuff and get involved in that sort of aspect in life, but it's never really been a massive driving force in me, to be honest.
No, absolutely. You're doing a lot for men's mental health, especially Andy's Man Club, which is absolutely awesome. What does men's mental health mean to you?
For me, it's quite important to me. It's quite a touchy one to me as well. I've struggled a bit in the past. But I've always just sort of got on with it and got on with life and just be all right, get on with it. And I have always tried to get on with it myself. And I bottle a lot of things up and I don't really talk to many people. So understanding that people do actually struggle and you'd never ever notice, because I am people who know me, they'll know me as quite loud, chirpy, cheerful, class clown.
Awesome moustache.
Awesome moustache. But even in workplace now, everyone will know me as being the loud one, the loud character, the person trying to make everyone laugh. Always just trying to be the centre of attention. I've always wanted to be the centre of attention. I'm always wanting to be the centre of the room. Always got to be vocal, loud, because that's just who I am. So I think a lot of people probably think oh, he's never struggled because he's happy, and they probably see me in rooms and they think, oh, look how happy he is all the time. But what they don't realise is behind closed doors and when you are alone, sometimes things are a struggle. And I think I'm quite good at putting on a brave face at times, and I think that's a big problem of what many others do. And I think so many other people out there put on a brave face, and you'd never ever sort of realise that they are struggling out there. And that's why it sort of means quite a lot to me, because you just don't know what others are sort of
Absolutely.
going through, and the struggles that they're sort of facing, because you see them in the streets and they look happy, or you see they put a post on Instagram, or you see them out there and you see them in the pub on the drink or whatever it may be, but you automatically just think, oh, they're all right, really, they are all right, but you don't actually know like what's going on when they're behind closed doors and what's actually going on inside their own mind at times.
I absolutely agree with it, and I feel like I can relate to you with the aspect of wanting to. It's not, it is a centre of attention, but it's also just making people happy, making people laugh, and that so obviously with you doing that, I can probably imagine when you get home, that's your energy used up for the day.
Yeah. I recently got diagnosed with ADHD the start of this year, actually. So like my energy is like it's either 100 mile an hour or 0 mile an hour. There's no in between. Like people will see me and I'm like all guns blazing and I'm like 100 mile an hour, but like I'll get home and I'm like I'm absolutely drained. I've got no energy to give.
Down days are very down.
Yeah, like, and it's even the same like when I'm training for all my endurance sports and stuff. Like when I'm on go, like I'm like 100 mile an hour. I'm like I can get up at 6 in the morning. I can go through to work and do 75, 80 minute swim, get home, go on the bike for 2-3 hours, go for a run for an hour, and I'm absolutely fine, full of energy. But then there's days where like I literally can't get up because I've just got no energy at all, and it's so hard to sort of drive myself forward and sort of push myself on. And like I say, and I do think it's ADHD does play a massive part in that, but it's just trying to find ways to help deal with that yourself, because like I say, like it can stop you doing a lot of things, but it's a superpower at the end of the day as well. And really
I'm exactly that's what I call it as well, and it absolutely is, because I feel like it gives you that ability to want to help people as well. Do you know what I mean? Know if you, especially if you've got ADHD and you've struggled, you know that how other people feel. You almost hyper focus on people's emotions, and you want people to be happy. That's why you do these little things and make them laugh and etc. No, that's absolutely awesome. If you wouldn't mind sharing, what part of your life did you realise I need to do something to help myself? I need to better myself.
It was just more about a couple of years ago, before I'd done my very first triathlon. I was just sort of living life, and I just felt like I had no purpose. I didn't really like going out drinking. I've never really been that sort of person to enjoy going out drinking. Going out really, like, it just wasn't for me, and I just sort of like, I was in a bit of a downward spiral, thinking like, what is the point? Like, what is there for me to do out there? Like, there must be something that I enjoy doing. And I'll admit I was bad. I used to sometimes sit on my Xbox, sit on like FIFA or Call of Duty for hours and hours and hours, and just sort of sit on my phone, doom scrolling, just sort of passing time, getting up in the morning, going to work, coming home, just being in a really bad routine, not really being bothered about myself, like not being bothered about what I'm eating, not being bothered about just taking general care of myself, and it was just a bit of a shit patch, and I thought there must be something out there for me. And I'd often go through stages where I'd fall in love with the gym, and I'd go to the gym for like 3, 4, 5 months, and I'd smash the gym, and I'd lose a load of weight, and I'd get in relatively decent nick, and then once I'd hit that like point, I'd just then spiral back down again, and I'd just go through that same cycle, and I used to just think like, this can't be like the good thing for me. So I thought about like trying something different. So that's when I started cycling, and I thought, I'll tell you what, I'll get a bike on the bike to work scheme. So I got a bike, and I thought I'll just start biking to work, because I lost my sofa as well, so I couldn't get to work. So like getting on the bus was a pain, and I couldn't be bothered with that. So I thought, I'll tell you what, I'll get a bike, I'll bike to work. So I used to bike to work, and I enjoyed biking. I thought, it's really good this. So I started doing longer and longer on the bike, and I was like, yeah, I like biking, this is fun.
That's awesome.
But I just biked by myself, and I was like, it's good, but it's a bit shit because none of my other
Want some
friends'
crack
bike
as
really.
well.
Yeah, like none of my other friends' bike. And then I thought, oh, I'll tell you what, I fancy doing a triathlon. So I thought, oh, I'll tell you what, I'll have a go at triathlon. So I was looking about and I was going on TikTok and I was on Instagram looking and watching YouTube videos and triathlons and stuff, and seeing that there was one obviously in Bassenthwaite, Bassenthwaite triathlon, and I thought, I'll tell you what, I'll have a go at that. Because it was local, I thought I might as well. And obviously I'd seen other people had done the Lakesman, so I thought, oh, I could work my way up and do the Lakesman. I could have a go at that. Looks good. Everyone, like, look at all the people doing that. Anyway, so I'd signed up for Bash Tri, and this was probably like one of the shittest points in my life in 2023. And then, like, before I knew it, like, Bash Tri was like 3-4 weeks away.
Oh wow!
And I couldn't swim or nothing. And I started getting lessons off a guy who actually coaches me now. And I started getting lessons and stuff off him. And he was like, and he took us to Bassenthwaite in the water. And he's got a video of me the first time I ever swam in open water. And literally, I think I swam about 40, 50 metres, and I literally couldn't move. And he was like, well,
Yeah.
it's going to be quite hard. It's going to be a challenge for you. But I think, like, and I thought, oh my God, like, so like I was just in my head. I thought, like, I might as well I'll just fuck it off because I can't do this. There's no way I can do this. Like, anyways, I kept going to the Pearly, giving some sets to do, and even at the Pearly in like Whitehaven and Working, it's 25 metres, and I used to swim 25 metres, and I'd have to wait at the end, and then I'd do 25 again, and then 20. And like I was doing sessions that are like 600-700 metres for like a swim set, whereas now I do like 3-4k.
Wow.
But like it used to just be that hard. Anyways, I was like, I'll just sack this triathlon off. No, I can't do it. And this is obviously when I was at the shittest point in my life, and I was going through a real shit time at this point. Like I was lived on my own. I was quite like things felt a bit lonely. Just like being on your own at home. Like I say, don't go out and don't drink and stuff, and just sitting in your house on your own. You just feel a bit lonely, a bit down, and it's easy to get like fed up with your own company at times, and you just like. And I was just like, I'll just have to fuck this off. But anyways, it was like, came round to doing the triathlon, and I thought, I'll tell you what, I'll have a go at it. I'll just go and do it. So I went through on my own, and I'd done the triathlon, and I got in the water, and I was like, Christ, I don't know how this is gonna work out. Anyways, I was swimming, and I couldn't for the love of the money swim in a straight line. So like, obviously, for the shortest distance, if you swim in the straight line, that's how they measure it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So obviously, for 1,500 metre swim, they measure in a straight line. But as I'm swimming diagonally out, then diagonally out, then diagonally in, diagonally out. I'm constantly getting patted on people on like canoes and the water safety team and that. Say like, come on, you're gonna have to straighten up and stuff. And I was last out the water by about 15-20 minutes, and I was going round and thought, I'm just gonna have to like, I'm not gonna do this swim. I'm not gonna be able to do it. Luckily, somehow or another, I managed to doggy paddle my way around, and I got out of the water in about 48 minutes. And just take that into perspective, into perspective, whatever the word is. I'd done my Ironman swim in 20 minutes longer than that, which was a full mile and so many like.
That's amazing.
Like near enough 3 times. It's near enough 3 times as long, and it only took us an extra 20 minutes doing my full Ironman swim when I'd done that. So it was shit swim time, really bad anyways. But I got round it, and I managed to get on the bike, and the bike's what I enjoyed. So I got a bit happier on the bike, and I started to overtake a few people on the bike, and I got a bit excited there. So I used most of my energy on the bike because I thought, flogging on the bike, and I'll get some positions back up. It wasn't about like a time or anything for me, or it wasn't about beating anyone or anything, but I just never wanted to come last, and I just didn't want to come last. Even though there's no harm in coming last.
That was your personal goal?
Yeah, I just didn't want to come last there. I always have that fear, everyone wait for me. Anyways, I got past a few people, got on the run, and at this point, I am overweight at this point, and I hadn't really ran much, and I'd struggled. And this run, I started like, it was more of a walk than a run. But anyways, got the 10k done. It was actually a bit more than 10k. got that done. And honestly, when I got back and obviously I'd finished, it was like the most happiest feeling I'd ever felt in my life. And I just felt like a sense of accomplishment.
That's
and
awesome.
and I wanted to have that sort of same feeling again, and that fired up the spark in me, and that's where I sort of really sort of found the love for triathlon, just doing that, because I hadn't really committed to training, I hadn't committed to anything, I just committed to that experience on that day, and it really found the purpose in me, and that I really just enjoyed it from that day onwards.
And obviously, along with doing all these triathlons and races, you're also raising a lot of awareness and money for Andy's Man Club. What does Andy's Man Club mean to you?
Yeah, so for me, for Andy's Man Club, the reason why I wanted to do something for Andy's Man Club, next year it's Andy's Man Club 10-year anniversary, and this year there's been quite a big push by the founders of Andy's Man's Club. They done a challenge called Mission Impossible, and it was really inspired by that. They took part in every single Ironman event in the UK. To raise awareness for Andy's Man's Club, and I wanted to sort of use their driving force to do something for myself personally, to sort of pay back. And the reason why I wanted to do it for Andy's Man's Club is because I've never ever spoke out. I never spoke to anyone. I just sort of struggled by myself and got on with it on my own, because I thought that was the easiest way, but it actually isn't the easiest way. So I want to do it because I want to raise the awareness for other people, and I want other people to realise that there is actually people out there and there is help out there, and there's great charities out there like Andy's Man's Club that do a lot of really good work. And like I say, it's the 10-year anniversary and it's a milestone for them, because they've built up from just a thought that started back 10 years ago, and if you look at the scale Andy's Man's Club's on now, it's absolutely massive.
Helps nearly 7,000 people in the UK.
Yeah, it's around about 7,000. I think they've got like 300 odd different venues every single week, every single Monday. Like I say, you spoke to Steve last week, and he even mentioned about how big and wide it is within Cumbria now as well, and how many sort of different facilitators they've got going on within our local area. Like, Working itself has two. We've got one in Whitehaven, I believe, Cockermouth, Maryport. There's just so many, and it grew so much and so wide, and especially for Cumbria, it's so important that people understand that there is actually help out there, because people are out there struggling, and people do struggle, and people don't have to struggle, and there is someone out there, and it doesn't necessarily mean Andy's Man's Club, and it doesn't necessarily mean like a person who goes to Andy's Man's Club. It could be absolutely anybody you speak to.
It could be anyone.
Could be a work colleague, it could be a friend, it could be absolutely anybody, but there's always someone there to listen and to talk to.
The wind's not on our side today, is it?
No.
The cameras fell over twice, but here we still power on. A little bit about your triathlon then. So what does this year entail? What are the plans for this year, especially for like 2026?
Yeah, so for 2026, I set myself a bit of a challenge, and I've given it a bit of a name. I've called it Anything is Possible.
Awesome.
The reason why I called it Anything is Possible is because I always want to show that no matter what you're going through, or what adversity is going on in your life, or what struggles you've got going on, or no matter how hard things may seem, anything actually is possible. No matter, you might be in a position in your life and something might seem really hard, and that really hard might just be getting up and making your bed, or it might just be getting up and brushing your teeth, or just getting yourself a shower, or just making yourself some food, or going out for a 5k, or going out for a walk, or just doing anything. And it's just to show that things are possible, and for people to realise anything is possible no matter what. So over the year I've decided to take on various endurance events. So the full list it involves, and there's various triathlons, various running events, cycling events, and swimming events. So I'll be taking part in 1 mile in 6 lakes. So I'll be starting up in Ullswater, and I'll be swimming a mile in Ullswater, and I'll be working my way down the lakes as way back to Ennerdale, and I'll be swimming a mile in each lake in the day. So that'll be like, that's one event. There's various different half marathons, so a lot of local ones as well. So like Carlisle half marathon, Working half marathon. There's also a half marathon in Cockermouth, which wasn't actually originally on the list, but it's in February. So I'm thinking about putting it into the list because
That's a cool idea.
yeah, it's also because it's a local event and it gives back to the locals, and it's just a really good opportunity to sort of to take part in things. And I've got a couple of cycling sportives, so I've got like the Fred Whitton, which starts obviously in Grasmere, which goes over every single pass within the Lake District, and then back round 112. It's probably the hardest one-day cycling event. Coast to coast within the day, so we're starting off in Whitehaven, cycling over to Tyneside in Newcastle. Then the hardest part of the challenge is probably going to be 7 half Ironmans in 7 days.
Oh wow!
So a half Ironman, for those that don't know, it's a 1.2 mile swim, 56 mile bike ride, and then a half marathon. So I'm going to be taking part in one of those every single day for the full week. And my goal is to finish off at the Lakesman. So yeah, so that's probably going to be the hardest part of the challenge. So you're looking at around 6-7 hours a day, just because I don't want to be going out trying to get PBs.
Yeah.
So it'll just be the sort of get round it every single day. So it's going to take up a lot of time. I've got 2 Ironman events. So I've got Ironman Leeds and Ironman Wales. For those that don't know what an Ironman is, it's a 2.4 mile swim, 112 mile bike ride, and a full marathon. And Leeds and Wales, obviously they're the 2 UK full distance Ironmans, but they are not nice and they're not friendly at all. There's a lot of hills in them, a lot of climbing. 2 very hard Ironmans, maybe two of the hardest. Wales is up there with the hardest Ironman. So yeah, and Leeds Ironman got announced yesterday, and it's actually given me a lot less time than I anticipated. So that is actually on the 16th of August, with Wales being on the 13th of September. So I've literally only got 4 weeks between the 2 Ironmans. So it's going to be a challenge. It's going to be hard work. But again, it's all for a good cause.
Absolutely.
And then I'm going to try and cap everything off with an ultra marathon. And I'm in 2 minds of how to sort of do the ultra marathon just yet. There's potential to do like a backyard sort of ultra style where on the hour I run 4 mile on the hour every hour for as long as I can, and do that at an event. Or I can sort of do it local to home and try and get as many people involved as possible.
Awesome.
And just go out and do a run, and then every hour people can come and join for an hour, 30 minutes or whatever.
Gets them out as well,
Just
doesn't it?
Yeah, and do the same sort of route. It's so yeah, it's in 2 minds how to sort of go with it. And then we've got a couple of marathon events in there as well, and the half marathons which I touched on earlier. But yeah, it's quite a lot over the full year, and it is going to be hard work, and it's going to take a lot of time. But luckily I've had some amazing sponsors to jump on board with me. Massive shout out to Extreme Fitness. They're obviously my main sponsor for the event.
He's a great fella.
So they've jumped on board with that, and absolute massive help. And I'm hoping to sort of get in touch with Extreme soon as well. And we did have initial discussions about ways they can help with fundraising and things as well. But like I say, they've been an absolute massive help, as well as all my other sponsors. Just to name a few of my main sponsors, I've got like Ryan's Physique, so he currently coaches me as well with my food and nutrition. There's KT Skip Hire.
Kev Thompson.
Yeah,
Great
Kev
fella.
is a great fella, absolute, honestly, brilliant. We've got Alec Mate, which is a new sort of
Mr. Gangu.
yeah, so he's
Another
jumped
awesome
on
fella.
as well. We've got like the Whittington Cat, Wild Olive. There's so many that
That's amazing.
I couldn't even mention them all today. But there's so many like local businesses that have jumped on board to help with this, and it's absolutely brilliant just to sort of see the support from other people who generally do believe in me and the cause as well.
That's amazing, mate. What's going to keep you going every day? Obviously, especially when you said about that 7-day stint. Is that the half Ironmans? Did you say?
Yeah.
seven in 7 days, which is crazy. What's going to keep you going every morning, even when you're maybe, say if there's a day you're not recovered properly or whatever? What are you going to tell yourself to keep going?
Yeah, it's it's just to understand that like hard things don't last, and although it's going to be hard in that moment, and it's really hard in that moment, there is reward at the end of it, and there is hope at the end of it. So like my hope at the end of the 7 in 7 is 2 days after I finish the event, I'm going on holiday. So that's
Nice.
my light at the end of it, is I'm getting to go and have some time off once I've done that. So like realising that during that week it's going to be really hard and it's going to be a struggle, but it's one day closer to me going on holiday, so I can rest and recover and I can enjoy myself. And although next year is going to be really hard because I'm so busy and trying to find time to fit into a schedule to go away is a challenge, I've managed to make things work for that time, and it's worked out brilliantly because it just gives me the purpose to just keep battling on and keep going and just driving forward and just showing that hard times don't always last, and no matter like the struggles that you go through in that moment and that day or just that period of time in your life, it won't always last, and it will actually get better. And
That's amazing.
And you will find light at the end of the tunnel. No matter how dark you find it, you will actually find light at the end of the tunnel one day.
You're a great fella. I absolutely rate that. If there was, obviously, we'll say if there was one man, we'll go off men for this purpose of with your fundraising for Andy's Man Club. If there was one man watching this right now who was struggling behind the camera, what words of advice would you give to him?
Advice I'd give to anyone is just set yourself a routine and just do it. And that routine doesn't need to be something crazy, but it could just be something as little as set your alarm for 8 in the morning or to a time that suits you. Set yourself a time to go out of the house and get 30 minutes of fresh air. Set yourself a time to go and do something small and just tick them off day by day. And like I say, no matter how big or small that is, everyone's goal is different to themselves, and it means something to them. So like a goal to someone isn't necessarily the same goal I'd have, and my goal isn't necessarily the same goal as someone else's, but each to ourselves it's important. So by getting up and by achieving something in that particular moment, it's a goal, and you should be proud and you should feel accomplished yourself. So just because someone runs 50 mile in the day and someone runs 5 mile in the day, just because someone's run 50 mile, it doesn't mean that they've done anything more amazing or more spectacular, because what's happened is 2 people have went out and they've got out the comfort zone and they've pushed themselves upon their limits. So I would really recommend anyone out there, just set some routine in life and just do something, and just be proud of, no matter what your challenge is or what it is, just be proud of yourself.
No, that's really, really good words. There's a couple going off in the distance. That's absolutely awesome. Do you know what? It's actually an awesome location. It would be. And when we first got it wasn't too bad, was it?
No.
But as soon as we set up, got about 9 minutes in, camera down. But here, we still push on. That's all that matters. Nearly wrapping up. Obviously, I just want to ask a couple of questions about yourself. If excluding the running, excluding everything, what do you do for self-care?
For self-care, what do I do? My self-care is just fitness. Like, it literally is just fitness.
That's
like
awesome.
Like I say, it is just what makes me happy. So if I'm feeling shit, if I go for a run, I feel happy. If I feel shit and I go swimming, I feel happy. If I feel shit and I go for a bike ride, I feel happy. As well as coffee shops, I love coffee shops. I like. There's nothing more. Like, my idea of something really good is just going out the house and then going to a coffee shop, having a coffee and cake, and that is just my idea of that's my self-care.
That's absolutely awesome. And obviously, we can't do a podcast without talking about food or drink. When you go into these coffee shops, what is your order?
For me, it's probably just a latte. I do sometimes get a mocha. Mocha or a latte is what I like the most. Cake. I always change it up, but I like caramel shortbread.
Oh, God.
Caramel shortbread, I think.
Unreal, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I like them. But you have to go in now, and there's always these fancy ones. So there's
blondies and all of that.
Yeah, there's a cafe in Coldbeck which I like going to, and they've got these awesome, like, massive cookies and Yeah, I like that one. So when I go on the bike and stuff, back of a cold beck, and I hate it every time because it's always windy. You always have the wind in your head face, and it's always shit. But it's always rewarding because you get that coffee shop at the end of it. So
that's awesome, mate. You're an absolutely great fella. And just want to give a quick shout out to our main sponsors. Thank you very much, Bounty Competitions, for making this possible. The whole point of these podcasts is to help people and for people to see other people's stories, hear other people's stories. And I was actually telling Kieran just before we came here, I even had someone messages and say that they have someone in their family who is struggling, and off the back of our first podcast, they're actually going to reach out for help, which is absolutely amazing. With your amazing story, mate, I'm sure people will do the same. Thank you very much for having us on.
Paul. Thank you very much.
It's okay to talk. It's okay to talk.